Hi everybody and welcome to Just Ask Gigi. Now you notice I left the title live. I left that off the title, right? It says we're not quite live anymore. I mean, we're well alive. Hi Gigi, we're doing fine. How are you, Gigi?
I feel alive.
You do? I do too.
More than ever.
But the show just isn't coming to you quite live. We're recording because for a couple of different reasons. Number one, we were having some issues with connectivity with being on Facebook and staying current and live all the time. Sometimes we'd fade out on you and we'd hear about it. But this will prevent that. So that's a good thing. Plus it allows us to concentrate more on some of the content on the show and things that develop. So we're actually kind of really looking forward to doing it this way.
Yes.
And we've got a few things to talk to you about today.
And of course, you know, if our viewers want us to go back to live, just let us know, you know. But it was kind of, you know, we had more complaints about our audio going up and down, so I think this way we were able to protect it. So we'll give this a whirl. We were
phasing in and out, you know, like on some bad science fiction movie. So we have to, you know.
It was probably reality.
Yeah, well, that's true too. So we're going to be back in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break for a commercial, but we're going to talk a little bit about contracts today, Gigi, and one in particular, that the little story that came up in relation to the recent Tampa show.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that. And of course, we've got some of your questions to answer. So we'll be back in just 30 seconds. This is Just Ask Gigi.
Meet Terry and Carrie. They want an RV. Really, they want the freedom that comes with being able to pick up whenever they want and to move from one breathtaking view to another. The kind of freedom that takes them across the country and beyond, living their dream. But if they buy the wrong RV, it might actually pop their dream world. Maybe they pick one that's too heavy to tow for their vehicle. Or go with the wrong dealership who won't service their RV. There are questions to ask before they buy, and even more once they become an owner. Thankfully, there's the RV Advisor, the only non-biased platform for information for the RV and outdoor enthusiasts. Get the best tips, tricks, and discounts at all KOA nationwide campgrounds and other huge discounts that every RV enthusiast will love. Now, Terry and Carrie are living the life exactly how they want.
Visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. Welcome back to Just Ask Gigi. She, of course, is Gigi Stetler. My name is Tom Alexander. And Gigi, we had a lot of fun at the Tampa Super Show a couple weeks back.
I'm sorry I missed it, but I saw all the video. It was awesome. You had
a lot of fun.
Awesome time.
And we met some, you know, not only, obviously, we got to speak with the you know, all the distributors, the manufacturers, all the people who were there with vendors and all kinds of great folks. And that was awesome. But we also got to meet some fans of the show, our show and the podcast and other stuff. So, and one lovely couple that we met from Denver talked to me about they're very interested in what you do and what the RV Advisor does in general. And well, they had a little thing that occurred to them on the show, and I'm going to let you pick up the story because it's a really it's a tale, a word to the wise, I guess you could say, right?
You know, we talk about this over and over again. You know, we say about you know, about contracts and maybe hiring me just to view your contract before you sign it, you know, or just keep paying attention, and I'm just gonna keep, you know, like beating the dead horse with this, you know, with the stick to you know, for you to pay attention, buyer beware.
Get that message through.
Get that message. So Tom, you know, he told me that he had met a lovely couple, and he actually interviewed them, and they're from Denver, and they came there possibly looking, you know, for an RV.
Yeah.
And he actually had seen my show on the RV USA show, Alan Warren, and he knew about the GPS service, and he knew about all of that. So he thought, you know, I'm gonna pick something out, and then I'm going to have, you know, Gigi, you know, view the contract.
Yeah.
And I think he went looking for you, Tom, at the show.
He did. I got a phone call from him and a couple of texts, and lo and behold, we got to meet up at the, I think at the Airstream display, which was kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tom had met up with him and interviewed him, and he said that he was, you know, possibly looking, but he did, you know, he liked, you know, my advice or whatever, and viewing the contract. So long story short, He is a RV Advisor member, and then on Monday, right after the show, he had hired me, GPS, the 350 service, to look over his contract. So he had made a purchase there on Sunday, and so he sent over after he had hired me, he had sent over the contract, and of course, I put my glasses on, which people should do when they get a contract in front of them. Put your glasses on and start to read the contract. So he sent me the contract over, and I was like, well, he already signed it, and he gave a $5,000 deposit.
Put mine on here too. Yeah.
So I was, kind of shocked, and I had, called him on the phone, and he thought, well, and he did have the right idea at first, but he had the salesman write in on the contract that the deal was contingent on financial advisor's approval and financing, which was very, very, that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But the dealer just above that wrote in deposit non-refundable. So, and he signed it.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
so now I'm after the fact, I'm now trying to go backwards.
Damage control.
Yeah. And I'm trying to help him. Well, first off, he purchased this from Guernsey. Well, how do you say that name? I can't even say it.
It looks like Grzeni's.
Grzeni's
RV
World
World, yeah.
in Bradenton, and I
In
guess
Florida
the motorhome.
here, yeah.
And I guess
Yeah.
the motorhome was there, but the salesman had talked him into ordering a unit, and they had negotiated. And I'm not here to talk about the price. Whether he got a good price or not a good price, it wasn't even really so much about that.
Right.
But apparently this was an ordered unit, which they never even told him, maybe sometime in April or May. And so I started to look at the contract, and the two things that stood out to me, which I said, you really need to, bring your eyeglasses if you.
Yeah, and your fine-tooth comb.
Because the print is so small.
Yeah, it is small.
So when I got to paragraph 17 of the contract, I mean, I had problems with some of the other parts of the contract, but this is something you must please look at these contracts. When you're ordering a unit or you're not taking delivery of the RV the exact moment that you're paying for it,
Yeah.
and it has this clause, which I'm going to read to you, okay? If you can't strike this clause out of this contract, then don't do business with that dealer. And the clause is extremely important. Inspection and acceptance. I acknowledge and agree that I am accepting the vehicle and all its components and equipment in the condition they are in. So how can you accept something that isn't built yet? So
That's a good point.
when the RV shows up in 4 or 5 months from now, and let's say it's not what he ordered,
Right.
number
Yeah.
17, he's already accepted it.
Right.
And then if you go to number 6, which I also had a problem with, is a disclaimer of future changes. So this is so important, folks. If you're going to order a unit, okay, and the dealer's telling you it's 3, 4, 5 months out. Now we're in January. When you get close to May, June, you're starting the cusp of model year change, okay? The 2021s will be coming out.
All right.
So with paragraph 6, the disclaimer of future changes, and we just started with the 2020. So let's say that the factory decides they're not going to make blue anymore, or they've added a window or took a window away, or any kind of change that they did, or they have a price increase.
Yeah, that's not what you right. That's not what you
Paragraph 6,
right.
you're agreeing to take and accept all future changes that a manufacturer may do. And number 17, what if that RV came in damaged?
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. A transport company can, hit it, put a hole in the side, whatever. I've actually have a client that happened to. They ordered an RV from an out-of-town dealer, internet sales, and never saw the vehicle, and they had it shipped to them in North Carolina.
And during the shipping, there was.
The thing was that a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, the RV still hasn't arrived. They couldn't get anybody on the phone. Finally, the dealer called him back and said, take those off. The dealer called him back and said, well, it had an accident in transport when it was heading to you, so it turned around and it came back here. So it was like $30-something thousand worth of damage to the RV. So the dealer says, well, you need to call your insurance company and make a claim. So the customer's like, well, why would I put it on my insurance, because I didn't accept it yet. Paragraph 17 had the same thing in his contract. So that paragraph, and I've seen it, and many dealers have this clause. I don't have that in our clause, in my personal dealership. I don't have that clause. I don't have that. We do say it is as is, unless you buy a warranty or the manufacturer's warranty, but you're inspecting it. You're inspecting the vehicle. So that customer, which they were actual personal friends of mine, and they actually, a year and a half had to litigate that, and they got stuck with that RV. It took them a year and a half to get it fixed, and they got stuck with that RV with all its defects. So its contracts are so important to read. And I know everyone's so excited to get, they want to get that RV. Try to find something that's in stock, so that you can touch it, feel it, squish it,
kick the tires,
literally. Because, when you order something, or at least if you are going to order a unit, and there's, that's not a terrible thing, but if you see this or anything that you're accepting it in its as-is condition, at the moment you sign this contract, you must have that crossed off, initialed by the dealer and by yourself, and you need to negotiate on those future changes, because you need to be aware, or you need to be able to have a way out of your contract if you don't accept those future changes or that price increase.
And now you're in a position here where you're going to try to have to do it after the fact. And it's always a lot harder when you're doing it after the fact than before they obviously
Had I had seen this agreement, had he had sent this to me, and folks, you can send your contracts. If you hire me or you want me to look over a contract, we are here 7 days a week. You can call, you can send it in. I can have a fast look at it. I may not look at the entire contract, but I can have a fast peek at it, or do something where you could do a refundable deposit for 24 hours. And I'm going to tell you, on both sides of the coin, if you're looking at a used RV or a new RV and you're at a show, it's not fair for you to make the dealer hold it either, because the dealer has other buyers as well. So it is a two-way street. So make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row, if you're going to make that purchase. Don't make that dealer take it out of stock and stuff like that. But that's why I said that we are available. We can have a look at that contract. If you hire us in advance, you're going to buy something, hire in advance. I work on my phone 24 hours a day pretty much. I would have seen this in 2 minutes. I would have told him not to sign that. The fact that they put that non-refundable deposit. So the problem now, he went to dispute his credit card, and the credit card company said, oh, well, it says non-refundable on it. So he's, having to open up this whole big case, and the dealer, shame on this dealer, they haven't even called him back. They haven't called him back. So they're gonna probably keep his $5,000, but I'm gonna fight, to help him get his money back. But and find something that's in stock, because there are many of this model around the country that's in stock. Or he should have bought the one that was sitting there, one or the other. But please, let's pay attention to these contracts.
No, it's great advice, and obviously it's something that's absolutely critical. Read the contract. If you don't understand it, find someone who does, like this lady right here, Gigi Stetler.
You have to kind of know what to look for.
Yes.
And I know what I'm looking for when I'm looking at these contracts, and that's probably why it stood out to me so quickly, because I was kind of looking for stuff like that.
Of course, you know exactly what to look for. This is Just Ask Gigi. She's Gigi Stetler, of course. My name is Tom Alexander. We're going to take a quick break, and we've got some of your questions coming up. That's next, right here on Just Ask Gigi.
Meet Terry and Carrie. They want an RV. Really, they want the freedom that comes with being able to pick up whenever they want and to move from one breathtaking view to another. The kind of freedom that takes them across the country and beyond, living their dream. But if they buy the wrong RV, it might actually pop their dream world. Maybe they pick one that's too heavy to tow for their vehicle, or go with the wrong dealership who won't service their RV. There are questions to ask before they buy, and even more once they become an owner. Thankfully, there's the RV Advisor, the only non-biased platform for information for the RV and outdoor enthusiasts. Get the best tips, tricks, and discounts at all KOA nationwide campgrounds, and other huge discounts that every RV enthusiast will love. Now, Terry and Carrie are living the life exactly how they want.
Visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. We're back now on Just Ask Gigi, along with Gigi Steller. My name's Tom Alexander, and Gigi, it's question time.
Oh, yeah.
We have our folks, our friends and our members, and anyone interested in watching the show, they write in and they want to, they have some questions.
Perfect.
Might be from the veteran RVer, might be for somebody who's just thinking of getting an RV.
Awesome. I love
So
it.
our first question, it sure sounds like someone who is thinking about an RV. Would you suggest a Class A or Class C for a first-time RVer?
Interesting question. My best advice is to rent both. Fun, hopefully it's somewhere local that would rent a Class A and a Class C, so that you can get the feel of the drive, because they're so different. A Class C drives like a van. A Class A, if you buy a smaller Class A, they're kind of a little light, and they do move around on the road a little bit. So you do want to, you want to try them out, but go to, even if you have to rent privately, if there's no local dealers, go to Outdoorsies or Ride Share, RV Share, and rent. Don't think so much about the year or the model. It's more of the experience of driving. The Class C drives like a van. I think they're easier to drive, but when you get in the wind, the cab kind of acts a little bit like a sail. So it does move around. But you drove a Class C over to Tampa.
We took a Class C. I thought it was great. I mean, it rode very nicely, and
that little Jayco drive.
Yeah, it was terrific. I mean, within a few turns here and there, or getting into a parking spot's a little bit different, but it definitely rides really, really well.
But you have to, I think, and the other thing is also to when you do narrow it down as far as buying the Class A or Class C, whatever you decide, do a test drive on the highway with both, so that you can get that feel of the actual RV that you're ready to buy.
Yeah.
Because it depends on how the weight's distributed, how far back, how the axles are, and how much the overhang is on the back of the RV, how much hangs over from the back of the axles. That's all going to have a lot to do with how it's going to travel on the road. So,
yeah, you got to get homework. In it. Do your homework and get in it. It's not like a jet where you can get into a simulator, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, well, we have a second question here. Let's see, what weatherproofing? Oh, this is interesting. What weatherproofing steps should I do to my trailer, and how often?
Well, I think we've done many segments of that. Silicone, Dicor. I always say you need to do a complete seal at least once a year. And I suggest spot checking it every 6 months. And it depends on the climate or where you're living. South Florida or Florida in general, because of our heat, our products, roof products especially, like rubber roofs, they expand and contract. They're made to expand and contract. So what happens is when they get to Florida weather or 80-degree weather coming from the cold, they will expand. So and that will leave gaps in your caulking. So it's extremely important to check that caulking when you're changing in different climates and stuff. But absolutely, for sure, you must seal it at least once a year.
Continuing now, do I need a specific license to pool an RV?
No, no CDL license required. Now some states are regulated on length. 3 feet, I think, is somewhere that's about that maximum, I believe, and some states maybe shorter, but, no license required, that's crazy, huh, in a way,
Yeah,
but yeah, no license required,
Yeah.
driver's license.
of course. But other than that, you're free and clear to go.
Yes.
Just don't leave town.
Without it.
Right. What backup parts should I always stock in my RV for an emergency? Wow.
Well, one thing that I always make sure that my RV has is extra sewer hoses. I can't tell you how many times the hose is broken, and a lot of times in the campground, your hose is either the lawn maintenance comes and breaks your hose, or it sits on rocks and breaks, or just weather or whatever. But I always have 3 or 4 sewer hoses as backup, and water hoses because they split. But as far as parts, fittings, some small fittings, clamps, PVC glue in case a pipe breaks, something like that. Extra set of keys for sure. I can't tell you how many people lock themselves out. Happens all the time, and you're climbing in the emergency window. But what I do with my RV when I travel in the summer, I have a hide key, and I stick it. I'm not going to tell you where I put it, but I hide it under my coach, so it's always there, and that's my front door key. So I have an emergency key, but I can't tell you how many times people have locked themselves out. So that is definitely a part. But I mean, as far as other parts, get roadside assistance. Make sure you have that, and then and that extended warranty, and all
the
your
sewer
parts,
hoses.
And sewer hoses, and all your parts will be covered.
Yeah, don't get hosed, right?
Yeah.
And let's see, my RV. Here, the last question we have here for today is: my RV did not come with a backup camera. What do you suggest? Can I get a certain type of backup camera?
Well, if it's camera ready, which you'll know in the back, if you see the little, like the housing that a camera should be. If you don't see that, and I don't know if it's a trailer or a motorhome, but Best Buy and all those type of places, they do sell a wireless camera system. That they have a new one now that's actually controlled by your cell phone. It's amazing. So they have like 6-way camera, so it'll be all the way around the sides, back, the rear side, the front side, the back, and it's controlled by your phone, so you can see it on your phone. So that's actually almost better than what they offer from the factory.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. And it's wireless. So that's the direction I would go. But see if it is pre-wired, because a lot of them are coming pre-wired, they just don't have the camera.
Right.
So if it is pre-wired, then you can get the wired camera, not the wireless, and then you just need to buy the camera that you install.
Gotcha. Well, lots of interesting stuff on today's show, and again, we are not live anymore. Just want to let you know we are live. record the show. We record the show a day ahead, and gives us the opportunity to do some little extra things in the production aspect of the show, and also prevents us again from losing connection, which has been a thing it's been an issue for us on Facebook off and on, and just it's there's a million waves going through the air here, and sometimes stuff just gets cut off. No more. Now we'll be able to stick with you all the way through.
Exactly.
We're going to be back in just a second to preview next week's show. Back in just a moment.
Meet Terry and Carrie. They want an RV. Really, they want the freedom that comes with being able to pick up whenever they want and to move from one breathtaking view to another. The kind of freedom that takes them across the country and beyond, living their dream. But if they buy the wrong RV, it might actually pop their dream world. Maybe they pick one that's too heavy to tow for their vehicle, or go with the wrong dealership who won't service their RV. There are questions to ask before they buy, and even more once they become an owner. Thankfully, there's the RV Advisor, the only non-biased platform for information for the RV and outdoor enthusiasts. Get the best tips, tricks, and discounts at all KOA nationwide campgrounds, and other huge discounts that every RV enthusiast will love. Now, Terry and Carrie are living the life, exactly how they want.
Visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911.
Alexander. Next week, Gigi, on the show, we're going to talk about some health tips.
Yes.
You take on the road. You know, just because you're on the road doesn't mean you have to stop eating right and taking care of yourself. You can certainly do it.
You can, and there's yeah, I want to get into, I don't know about cooking healthy, but just, maximizing your habits and your health and yeah, that kind of stuff.
Great. And of course, some destinations, some cool places to go.
Yeah.
It's never too early to think about maybe your big summer trip. If you're a part-time RVer and you have your big vacation is maybe this year on an RV and going cross country.
Well, we're here in Florida, so
Yeah.
we have a lot of snowbirds here. So
Yes, we do.
in fact, I think probably 3/4 of our members come to Florida.
Yeah, a lot do.
For the winter. So so we might as well touch on our own Sunshine State here.
It's
as
right
far
here
as,
in our backyard in in South Florida and the
Exactly.
whole state, in fact.
Yeah.
And of course, your questions, most important
Yes.
aspect of Just Ask Gigi, because she's the one answering the questions. If you want to have, if you have a question that you want to send in, all you got to do is go to just email us at info@thervadvisor.com, THERVadvisor.com. And we'll see you next time. For Gigi Stettler and for the great A.B. Batista behind the camera and does all the production work. Thank you, A.B. I'm Tom Alexander. See you next week.